Hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. I hope that everybody has been enjoying the amazing conference and you have learned a lot already. I want to thank you also for choosing my session, and I hope that I will be able to give you, if not many, at least one activity, something that you can take from here and apply it in whichever field that you are in your home, with your children, with your own children, in classrooms, and all of that. It is a little bit weird talking to myself because I'm sure that you guys are listening, but since I can't see any faces, anybody, it just looks a bit weird. But I'm sure that you all are here, and I hope that you will be enjoying this lovely presentation that I am going to present. We have limited time, so we will be having oh, thank you so much. I can see some lovely faces now. So it's reassuring that I'm not just talking to myself. Thank you so much. Very quickly, my brief introduction. My name is Wardah TANWEER. I am originally from Pakistan, working with 3 to 6 children in my past. And right now I'm working as an education coordinator in Padet School for children 3 to 6. English is not my first language, so it's nice for me to kind of give you the tips and still relate as well that it's a language that I learned through my education or during my growing up. Hello, hello. So I can see people saying hello in the chats as well. So my background, as I said, is in Montessori education, and Montessori education is kind of a school of thought. It's a system. We have our own theories and we apply it within our schools. I also understand that most of the people joining us over here today are from preschool and early year education, and you must be teaching English to young students. In our school, we have a bilingual program. So I do see the ups and the downs of teaching children who probably are not familiar with an English language. And I also, in my own experience, I felt that Turkey is still not a country that has a lot of English in their environment, in their surroundings. So the children's exposure to English language is probably just by you. So having these kind of challenges definitely makes us as teachers, us as educators, to work harder and to look for more activities, more opportunities where we can teach the children the language. So the language acquisition is happening very naturally. We understand that. Language acquisition is very important also when we are at the age that we are working with our children. So preschool education. What we understand is the child's mind between the age of 0 to 6 is so fertile, is so ready to take in anything that you are providing the child with. So having a second language, a third language in a lot of environment is very common and is very easy for the child to take it in. So having this information is extremely important for you guys because it allows you with the tool and with the confidence that what I'm doing, I will be able to succeed because these children have all the potential that they need to learn this language. So as educators, as parents, the first thing I really want to convey to you is just be confident in what you're doing because everybody will be able to get the result of your hard work. What are pre-literacy skills? Why are they important? It's very simple. These skills allow the children to be able to read and write at a later stage. So the better the children's understanding of sounds, the better the understanding of language, the better understanding of letters, the better they have, the more they're going to succeed when they are doing the reading and writing. It's the foundation of language. Like any building, if you do not have good foundation, it takes time to build something on it, and it takes a lot of, wearing and tearing can happen. So you need to keep on keeping, allowing the children to get better with the language. So if you spend the time, if you spend a lot of activities, if you give a lot of importance to the pre-literacy stage in the child's life, it would be very beneficial for your children. Now, the components of pre-literacy skills, there are many, but I really wanted to focus on 3, which is oral language, phonological awareness, and print knowledge. Now, for oral language, what are we doing? We're doing songs, we're doing rhymes, we're doing storybooks, we're telling story, we're playing vocabulary learning and classification cards. I am aware that we only have time until 4:35. So I have 25 minutes, and I do want to, as I said, give you some tips and tricks that you can help do it. So if I go a little fast, bear with me, or you feel I'm speaking very fast, please just write in the chat and I can slow down. In terms of the songs, for example, I want you to choose the songs that have repetitive words in it. If you are using the rhymes, again, choose the words that have repetitive words in them. For example, then having, finger puppets and finger songs are also part of your oral language. For storybooks, again, I'm sure you might be familiar with Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. So Brown Bear, it's a book. Or there's a book called We're Going on a Bear Hunt. Why? Because again, these books have this repetition of the story, and that's very important in a language that the children doesn't know. So the more repetition of words are coming, the more repetition of the story is the same, it's going to help you with the children to be predictable in it. So what's coming, they will understand. You're not trying to explain them, okay, this is happening and this is happening. No, the story is kind of telling them what's happening into the story. So please have storybooks and and songs and rhymes that have repetitive words. That's going to help with your pre-literacy skills. Then for storytelling, for example, we have an activity called question game. So where we want them to narrate. It's an important skill for the children to learn, again, in their pre-literacy time, because they will be writing stories. They will be talking and speaking with you in their own language as well as in English language. That's what our goal is. So you have to start preparing them orally and mentally before they start actually, using pen and pencil. So we are playing a game that is called question game. So the way the game goes, and two people who I can see is Nisa and Dilara. I might need a little bit of participation. So if you wouldn't mind opening up your mic and then speaking with me. So in the question game, thank you. So in the question game, what do? We are working with a subject, object, and verb of a sentence, and we're going to build a story upon it. So for example, I would say, Sally has a dog, or Sally is walking a dog. So this is our sentence. Sally is walking a dog. So I will ask the children, Nisa, what is Sally? Who is Sally? Who is Sally?
Who is Sally?
Who is Sally? Who do you think Sally is?
My best friend.
Your best friend. Okay. Dilara, what is Sally wearing?
Blue skirt and yellow, maybe, shirt.
Blue skirt and yellow shirt. So I'm going to go to each child and ask question about Sally, about my subject. Then I am going to talk about my object. So again, I would ask, for example, Nisa, what kind of dog was it? I'm not very good with dog. Brown dog. Okay. Dilara, what was the size of the dog?
Big.
Big.
It is big, yeah.
Yes. So again, I'm going to ask how many children I have. I will ask them, what do you call it, about the dog. And then I'm going to ask about the verb. So for example, Nisa, how was Sally walking the dog? It could be fast, it could be slow.
I don't know. Yeah, fast.
Fast.
I just think about fast.
Yeah. Where do you think Sally was walking the dog, Dilara?
In the park.
In the park. And then I will continue. So now I've got few answers and I'm going to create this story with the child. So I will say, Sally was my best friend. And she was wearing blue skirt and yellow shirt. She had a big brown dog. And she was walking the dog very fast in the beautiful park. So that's how I'm kind of telling the story. Now, there are many important things in it. It relates with the child's more. There's inclusion of the child making the story. So there's a lot of narration that is going and happening and helping the child to understand how can I make the story myself, because the story has an ending, a beginning, and an end. So that's one of the things I hope that you guys can practice with your children when you're working with them. And again, I can understand, maybe the children might not even understand sometimes what do you mean by Sally is walking a dog. Some children might, find this English a lot. So you can make it as simple as you can. For example, Nisa ate a cake. This maybe they might be able to relate more. You can show them a cake. You can show them the eating gesture. You can show them who you are. So a lot of body language when teaching English as a second language, especially in an environment where there's not so popular the language, body language plays a big part. Then another thing that I wrote over here was classification cards. So for example, I have a bundle of cards about a bedroom. So everything that's inside the bedroom, I would have all those cards and I will be giving them language. Now, how do I give them a language? There's a thing that we call it, it's called 3-period lesson. In Montessori education, we give them 3-period lesson. For example, I will have the card and I would say, this is a chair. So I'm going to show only one card, one object at a time. And then I would say, this is a table. This is a rug. Chair, table, rug. So I've only given them the names. The names are there. Chair, table, rug. Now, afterwards, I am going to start taking the cards and moving them around. So for example, I can put my chair on the table side, and then I can put my rug on the table side. And now I will ask them, where's the table? Where's the chair? Where's the rug? And the child is pointing. And when the child is pointing, I would encourage them to repeat the word. So I would say, where is rug? Yes, rug. Where is table? Where is chair? And I keep on moving my cards. To make it interesting, I would say, can you touch the table with a thumb? Can you touch the chair with your little finger? Can you give me rug? So I'm bringing different actions into it as well. And my third period, my last period would be where I'm asking the child, what is this? So what is this chair? And the child is going to give me the answer now. What is this rug? What is this, what is this table? And what is this rug? So this way, you're giving them limited but you're giving them a lot of repetition with the words, and you're really letting them experience. That is your key word as well. Experiencing the language is very important. Only giving an information is not going to make sense because they do not have a lot of layers of information that they might have in their own language. So they really need to manipulate. So they really find objects if you can, find real things if you can, and let them play with it, let them touch it, let them move it, let them speak, say about it. And that is going to help you with your hopefully vocabulary building. And vocabulary building is extremely, extremely important, because unless and until they don't have vocabulary, they will not be able to understand a lot of things. So this was our oral language. The second pre-literacy layer that I want to talk about is the phonological awareness. Now, phonological awareness is basically simply awareness about sounds in a word, understanding that a word is made up of different sounds, or there are different syllables and consonants, and those things are part of your word. It's a very common game, and I hope that you guys are playing with your children. And if you're not, I hope that you would be playing with your children a lot afterwards. Is called an I Spy game. An I Spy game, you basically have a basket or a tray that has different objects that you want to teach them. So for example, here I want to, now there are many stages of I Spy. In the beginning, I want them to teach very basic, very simple words, usually phonetic words. And it's better if it's 3-letter phonetic words and words that do not have similar sounds, beginning sounds. So I will not take two d sounds like dog or a drum. I will take, so I've taken a dog, jug, and mop. So these are 3 items that I want to teach the names of. Not to teach the name, sorry, the phonetic I'm going to give them. So I would say, Nisa, this is dog, this is a jug, and this is a mop. Dog, jug, mop. Now, I spy with my little eyes something in front of me that begins with D. And I would push this card or this object a little bit away from the rest. So it's more isolated. The child can really focus on it more. So I would push it and the child would see the dog. And I would say something that begins with D, D. And hopefully the child will say dog. I will take it back and then I would say something that I spy with my little eyes, something that begins with J, J. And I will push this thing in front of him. So jug. And lastly, I would say something that begins with M, M. Similar, I will push it first and then say something that begins with mop. And then I would, have them back. Then I would mix the things up again. And now again I will ask something that begins with D, something that begins with something that begins with J. So I will keep on playing this game. And that's my first stage, first step of I Spy game, that is allowing them to understand the beginning sound. Once I understand most of my children can do beginning sound, I will start focusing on maybe the ending sound. So here, for example, I will not take dog and jug as my example because g, 2 ending sounds. So here, for example, I can take dog, pen, and mop. Very different ending sound. Now, it would be the same process. Something that ends with the g sound. Something that ends with the p sound. Something that ends with a n sound, if I have a pen over here. So dog, pen, mop. The child is playing with it and understanding it, hopefully, the last sound. Third step would be for me to, for example, take the materials and say, let's see what are all the sounds in my object. So I will go dog, d, o, g, d, o, g. 3 sounds, d, o, g, dog. trust me, if you've really worked with this material and with this presentation, when it's time for the child to write and read, it comes much easier because, like I said, is so much information in child's mind before reading and writing, rather than, pat, let's start reading, and then we are giving them all this information. But if you've worked before with these children, with this pre-literacy games and pre-literacy skills you've developed and you've worked on them, then the actual process of reading and writing becomes very easy. So you've got dog, you've got jug, you've got mop, you've got the beginning sound, you've got the end sound, you've got all the sounds in the words. Another extension of this game can be, for example, if you have a shelf somewhere in your room, you can go over there and you can say, okay, I spy something on this shelf that begins with R. It can be more than one thing. That's fine. The only idea is for them to be able to identify the sounds. Now, if you would have played the 3-period lessons before with your children and would have given them the vocabulary, this is going to be very easy for you. But if the children do not have the vocabulary of things that you're asking, then again, there will be a struggle. So you will have, then on the shelf, you're asking all the sounds that we can have, beginning with R, beginning with L. Later, another game that you can play is, you can go by, for example, now we're not giving them a direct shelf. We're just giving them the whole world, the whole environment. And then you can say in the group, I wonder, who can tell me something that begins with L? And then every child is giving you a new word because you've worked with it and the child understands this. So this is us playing I Spy game, beginning sound, ending sound, all the sounds, sounds or from the shelves, and sounds from the world, from the environment. Lastly, we have print knowledge that we need to be giving for our children, which is basically sounds, the actual sounds. Now, in Montessori education, or probably in many other education, we are giving through sandpaper letters. So the material is not just a print, it's kinetic, so you can feel it. So it's made out of sandpaper, or you can make it out from a glitter paper, anything that has texture on it. And then you let the child feel the letter, and then you're giving them the sound. And of course, you have to understand, and I hope that you guys you're doing it already, sounds come before you teach them the names of the letter. So you would not go A, B, C, D. You have to focus and give them the sounds, because that is going to help them to do the reading of, or building words or writing words, and the right kind of sound. So B, K, not Sa, not A, not La, only the beginning sound. So B, K, S, L. So as you are, so you're going to feel it, and then you will say A, and then you would feel this, and then you will say S. Again, we do it through 3-period lesson. So we have 3 sounds, and we are working with, for example, we will say this is B, this is and this is O. B, O. Where is B? Where is Where is O? Can you feel B? Can you feel O? Can you feel Please give me Please take B over there. So again, experience. You're letting the child experience with the sounds. And the final stage would be, you are asking the child to give you back the sounds. So what is this? What is this? B. What is this? I can't remember. What was it? B, M, and O. Thank you. So it was the O sound. And this is how you're going to give them all the sounds of the letters. So these are, as I said, very brief, very quick, 3 important layers of pre-literacy skills. What we learned about was oral language, which we are giving through songs, rhymes, story reading, as well as storytelling. vocabulary language or vocabulary enrichment of vocabulary, and classification cards. With the songs and rhymes, where we need to focus that there are lots and lots of repetitive words. And then we can give, for example, for the vocabulary, we're giving it through 3-period lessons, and I explained you how we play with 3-period lessons. For the second stage was phonological awareness, and for phonological awareness, a lot of games that helps the children to understand the sounds in the words. And I like to play through I Spy game, which helps the children to understand the beginning of a sound, the ending of the sounds, all the sounds in the word. Then I can take, because I've built the child's understanding, then I can take him to a shelf, I can take him into a classroom, I can take him even, I wonder what something that you're wearing that begins with that ends with that's, you're going to mix and match. And then finally, you are going to help them with their print knowledge by giving them the sounds. How do they look like? And if you have given a lot of effort during this or building this part for your children, when it comes for you to do actual reading and writing with the child, it should help you immensely. We have only 5 minutes, so I don't think that we will be able to take a lot of questions, but if you do have something, very quickly, I can see, would you please give us the names of some writers that you know? There are many, Eric Carle, beautiful writer, very good books that he writes for young children. So, the Caterpillars book. As I was saying, the Brown Bear, that's from Eric Carle as well. Then you have Donald Rowell. He's a very famous, very beautiful, very interesting books that he writes. I will try to find, make it more interesting, the names and the books, maybe the book names and the writer's name. And if you are somewhere sign up for ELT conference, I would ask them to send you this link, this document, so you can have it for yourself. Usually, personally, I have not been able to find a lot of good English books over here. So usually we have to kind of get them from abroad or find publishers who carry really good books for these children. So I'll try to find as much information as I can and share it with you guys. Any other questions that you would like to ask?
I am the teacher of 5th, 6th, and 7th graders, not so young, but I wanted to join this meeting because maybe in the future I can use it for my children. I can use it, maybe I will work for the younger children.
For sure. And
for 3 years later, maybe.
As I said, depending on the level of the children, and you can make it. So for example, the I Spy game I'm telling you, even with the 5th, 6th students, you can make it according to the level that your children are at.
And also storytelling, I just wanted to ask it. Yes, for the 5th graders, it will work, I think.
Yes. And thanks because, for example, you're so welcome. This one is the stage that I explained you was for pre-literacy question game. But what you can make them do is write the story. So you play the game and then you ask them to write in front of you all the answers on a board. So they have all these columns that have all this information. And then you say, now make the story from this board. Yeah. So each child can have their own touch of the story as well. And
I will use this way. Yeah. I always said, let's storytelling, let's write it, but not in this way. I just grab the words, but I will use it, definitely use it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you liked it. Okay. So we've got people who've written. Twinkle website has great ebooks and resources of the books as well for teaching. Perfect. That's so nice. But it's always nice to have a book in your hand and really show it, especially if it's young children. Try to have really good hardboard, beautiful books, because books are wonderful for this young children. We've almost run out of the time. Again, I really want to say thank you for joining. And I hope that all of you at least took one small thing that you guys can practice with your children. And I hope that you would continue watching and participating in the conference and really, really benefiting from it. So thank you so much.